Hey everybody, welcome back to Mike's World. Today we're taking a look at the Weeryyi HDMI 4K wireless transmitter receiver. There's two of these, and it also comes in a really nice zippered hard case. Going to unbox this, not unbox it, but I'm going to show you what's in the case. I've already taken it out of the box. There's not much to it. But I'm going to show you what's in the case, and we're going to do a demonstration and show you everything about this and how it works. But before we get started, please subscribe to the channel if you haven't subscribed, like the video, leave a comment, and let's get started. Let's get started unboxing the HDMI, or unzipping it anyway, the HDMI transmitter receiver. So when you open this up, the first thing you're going to notice is there's a bag here on the left, and you're going to get two of these bricks. I call them bricks. A couple charging cables. There's the second one. That's an extra one that I think I put in there. Nope, maybe that is the second one. So it's USB to USB-C cables with two bricks. Now these are antennas. So on this side, you see we have the Weeryyi. This is the receiver. And then you have the transmitter. It says transmit. There is a 1/4-20 thread on the bottom, or on this flat side, so you can put them flat on your camera. Or there's a 1/4-20 on the bottom side, so you can have them standing upright. These are a couple extra washers I threw in there for the mount I have. It doesn't want to completely go on. I had to add a washer to get it completely tight. So they're just these studded antennas that you can add. Well, you have to add them. It is possible. It's a pretty standard thread antenna. There's a bunch of different types of antennas you can get. These are, I believe, omnidirectional. But you can buy directional antennas as well. So we're just going to put these on like this. This is very, very lightweight. At least without the batteries. So, takes a Sony style MPF battery. There's a button here to turn it on and off. It gives you your battery strength. So I'll show you in here in a second when I power it up. You can also power it through USB-C, and then there are reset buttons. And so if these were to get out of sync, what you do is you take the transmitter and receiver, and the transmitter you do HDMI out to HDMI in, and they will sync together. It does have HDMI loop through, so this one is the receiver. So you can take HDMI out, and you also have a second HDMI out if you have a monitor, like on top of your camera. You have HDMI in and HDMI loop out as well on the transmitter. So you can hook the receiver up to two different, like a recorder and a monitor. Here you can loop through if you have a monitor on the camera. So really nice. Let me grab a battery real quick. Now it does not come with a battery. You can order extra batteries. I like to use these Viltrox, these batteries. This is a 770 equivalent. So if you can see it or not, MPF 750. I have a hard time seeing without glasses on here. It doesn't give, 32.5 watt hours. This thing will probably run 12 to 18 hours on one of these batteries. So anyway, all they do, and the other reason I like this battery, the USB-C right here, you can plug your phone and charge off that if you want. But it's pretty simple. They just, it just snaps in like that. You can see a full charge. And then you'll see a couple lights here. So when let me go get another battery so I can go ahead and sync them up. So this is a bigger battery. This is a Swift. I've had this for a while with a this one has a barrel. I use this when I used to have a Teradek. So don't use a Teradek anymore. So don't really. But I still use it on my Sony camera. So pretty big though. I mean, I wouldn't use this big of a battery on this. But you can see it's powered up. And so you have both of them like that. There's no video going in, but see where you have the solid green? That means they're paired up and linked together. And you have the battery meter. So let's go ahead and hook up a camera, and let's hook us up to one of my big monitors at my computer desk and show you the transmission and walk around and show you what it looks like. So on the back of my computer monitor here, I have dual monitors, but I've hooked up the receiver. It's not hooked up directly to the monitor. I've got it actually hooked up to a little, it's kind of over here. It's an A/B switcher, so I can switch between my computer monitor or normally a cable box. In this case, I plugged in the wireless receiver. So this does have, I believe, a 600-foot range, line of sight. So pretty good range, but let's test it out. And on the transmitting side, I have my Sony NX5U, and I've mounted the transmitter plugged in through HDMI, and we're going to test out and see what it looks like. The camera is set to, I'm looking, 1080-60i is the setting. And so let's take a look at what it looks like walking around and check out and see what it looks like on the monitor. All right, so you can see right there on the monitor, and the first thing I'm noticing as I walk around, and I get away from the window so it gives a little bit better of a shot, but I'm gonna walk over here, put it in autofocus. Let's see, my shutter is messed up there. Hang on. There we go. Let's do auto shutter. And so this is kind of my setup right here. And you can see I've got my phone set up to record to my monitor, which you're seeing. That's the video you're seeing. But the one thing I'm noticing about this is it's stretching the video. So it's almost like a 4x3 stretched out. So I'm gonna have to take a look at that, but I'm gonna walk in the other room through the walls. And so I'm walking in the other room, got to forget the mess. But through walls, signal holds, but I'm definitely got to figure out what is going on with the stretched screen. Okay, so I did a little bit of testing, and you know it had the stretch screen earlier when I had it, and I've got my camera right here still hooked up to it. But what I noticed, if you notice now on the screen, it's not stretched. And what I did was I changed the camera to 720p, and it fixed everything. So this camera does not shoot 1920 by 1080. It shoots 1440 by 1080, which is actually a 4:3 aspect ratio. So it's stretching the image. It's seeing a 4:3 and stretching. It's not compensating for the anamorphic. And so that's an issue. Have not figured out a way with the transmitter or receiver to change any kind of settings. I don't think there's a way to do that. So whatever is going in is going to come out, and you don't have any way to adjust your aspect ratio. That's kind of an issue. So yeah, I'm going to have to keep doing some testing and see if I can figure out if there's a way to change this. It didn't come with any instruction manuals that tells you how to do anything like that. Basically, you hook it up and go. But that's going to be an issue if you have stretched video and you can't get true 16:9. So we'll do a little bit more testing, and I'll tell you what I come up with. Okay, so I decided to do one more test real quick. I took it off the camera. So now I've hooked it into, this is an off-air box. It's like a cable box, but it's really for an antenna. So I plugged in this transmitter to that to go to the receiver because I wanted to see if I still had the aspect ratio problem, and I do not. So going from the box to the monitor receiver, everything, the aspect ratio, everything is correct. So I'm at a loss. I'll have to figure it out, but the main reason I bought these was because it had more range than the other set I have, and I wanted to use it with my camera. But if the camera can only do 720, then it kind of defeats, then I'd have to get a different camera, test it with a camera that does 1920, and ultimately I don't want to do that. That's the camera I use all the time. So What I can tell you so far is these look like they're very good for, like, if you want to hook one to a cable box and go to another room or a TV outside and you want to transmit and you don't have to run cables. This looks like it's very good for that, perfect for that, except you wouldn't want to run off battery. You'd want to plug it in for permanent power. But otherwise, it's pretty good for that, but it's not good for what I want to use it for. All right, guys, so that's a look at the Weeryyi HDMI transmitters and receivers. Really, I'm comparing this to this. This is the Mars 300. This is the first ones that I had. There's some quite big differences. There's price differences between the two, but really this is a cheaper version. It does work for, say, if I had a cable box and I wanted to put a TV outside at a fire pit, but I don't want to run cables, this will actually work, and it's actually good for that. The Mars is a little bit more geared towards the prosumer, professional video people, and the differences are, and this is more expensive, and really, you get what you pay for, honestly. This one has an on-off switch button right here, and you pretty much plug it in, and that's about it, and you get what you get. And it has about, it claims it does more than 600 feet, 600 usable feet, which is pretty far with one of these. The Mars 300 is, you have an LED readout. There are 8 different channels. You can actually select your channel or put it on auto select, so it'll jump around to get the best signal so it doesn't drop out. Toggle switch on the bottom to turn on and off, which is a lot more reliable than this push button. But everything else is the same. Loop through. This one does have antennas built in, so it's all protected, so you don't run the risk of breaking something off. This only has a range of 300 feet, but it's pretty solid for 300 feet. And it cuts out a lot more interference and has that professional readout and everything, so the LED readout. So it's what do you want? This is very budget friendly and can work. This one, more expensive, but a little bit more reliable. So overall, I would give this probably, I don't like the range of this. I wish it had a longer range. So I would give this probably a B+. I'm giving the Weeryyi about a C+. It would be nice if I could change the output aspect ratio. The other thing with the Hollyland Mars 300 is it Bluetooth connects to your phone or through Wi-Fi. You have an app where you can use your phone as a viewer, as like a monitor to see what you're shooting and stuff like that. This, you don't. It's just, it is what it is. So if I could change the aspect ratio output of this and manually control that, then I'd give this an A-. It's really nice, really well built. It looks nice. Says it's 4K. I haven't tested it with 4K. I really like this and I really wanted it to work, but for now I'm going to have to stick with the Hollyland Mars 300. So yeah. Guys, thank you for watching. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't subscribed. Like the video, leave a comment. Tell me what you think. I hope you've enjoyed this. Have a great day.